We're recording, is it?
Yeah.
Already, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the GigaBash podcast that we're doing in conjunction with the PAX East Online 2021 event. So we've just revealed our brand new character, Rohana, and she's an amazing new addition to our already amazing roster. And I thought it'd be really great if we spoke to some of the developers of GigaBash at Passion Republic Games on like what was the process of creating such an amazing character. Were there any challenges and difficulties? So in general, it's going to be a pretty fun time. We're all being really casual, and everybody's gathered here for this panel discussion thing podcast. There we go. All right. So before we get into it, let's introduce everybody and start with CERN.
Oh, good. Thank you so much, Sophie. Hi, everyone. I'm CERN, the founder of the team. I think I'm the oldest in the group. You can see that from my lack of hair appeal. Yeah, so I'm officially the oldest kaiju in the team. Yep, that's me.
Oldest but wisest, of course, right?
And shiniest.
And let's continue with Mel.
Hi everyone, I'm Mel. I'm the co-director of GigaBash. My main responsibilities are on art and production, and also level and feature design.
Cool. And let's get an intro from Aiken.
Hello everyone, I'm Aiken. I'm also a co-director of GigaBash. I'm also a game designer in this game, responsible for character combat design.
Cool, nice. And let's get an intro from Yi-An.
Hi, my name is Yi-An, and I'm one of the many concept artists working here at Passion, and I was in charge of finalizing the design of Rohana.
Very nice. And an intro from Jack.
Hello, I'm Jack. So I'm a gameplay programmer for this game. So what I did mainly is creating many of the character skills in this game. Yep.
Very cool. And finally, we have me. I'm Sophie, and I'm actually the project coordinator for GigaBash, which is super exciting for me because I joined the team as a fan of GigaBash. I didn't know I get to work on the game. Bada bang! And I get to work on it, which is super great. And I get to host this. This is really neat. So before we get into like the dev stuff, I guess, let's continue to focus on us. How is everyone doing in the time of the pandemic? I'm losing it, so you can tell I'm doing great.
Yeah, I think in the past months, I think everyone is working from home. The COVID situation in Malaysia is still unstable. We still have like around a few thousand new cases every day, but unfortunately, I think everyone in our team is staying healthy so far. Yeah. I think currently many of our teammates are, doing their best coping with different kind of challenges at home, like, the technical challenges, communication challenges, and also like, isolation. Yeah, I think Mel here can also agree with me that, as some of the young parents in our team, we're also doing our best catching up with the development while dealing with all the little kaijus at home. Yeah. So even though there is quite a bit of challenges, ahead of us, we are also very grateful for all the care and supportive thoughts from our GigaBash Discord channel, as well as the good feedback, coming in from the social media. So that really keep us, in good spirit, keep us going. And I believe, our team will continue to do well with all this continuous support. So a big shout out to our Discord members. Thank you so much.
Yep. Agree with that.
Our Discord members truly are the ones giving us the Giga energy to continue working. So, and the podcast is for you guys. So, you're good. Hey. So, speaking of Giga energy, let's talk GigaBash. Hey. Mel, what is the current development status of GigaBash? Can you tell us about any challenges that we're currently encountering?
We're currently in alpha phase. A lot of major features have been locked in, and we're now just focusing on squashing bugs and polishing up the game. At the same time, we're optimizing the game performance for online mode, specifically improving on our netcode, and also optimizing for different platforms as well. So one thing is that we recently decided to overhaul our netcode, and our programmers are working really hard to make that happen. Yeah, and on challenges, I think apart from the usual challenges of building a game, one of the biggest one we're facing currently is with testing and finding bugs. As we're a small indie team, and the game requires 4 players in a time to play. As much as we enjoy playing the game and testing GigaBash on work time, we still have other tasks to work on. So and on top of that, working from home just means that we couldn't just casually grab anyone who's free in the office to test the game. So that makes it even more challenging for us.
So let's focus on the star of the show today. We've just introduced this amazing new character, Rohana, and everybody is here so that we can find out more about her as a character and as a fighter. So my first question is, what were the inspirations for Rohana's design?
So in the beginning, we kind of want this creature to represent Malaysia, and we were inspired by this local legend called Sang Kelembai, which is a giantess that is half human, half animal, that can turn living things into stone. And so we are inspired to do something similar, which is a magical creature that is half plant and half animal. And because this represents Malaysia, we just look no further from the Bunga Raya and the Malayan tiger. And so the idea of Rohana evolved from there.
I think that's really cool. So are there any kind of tiger-ish elements in her design or something?
Yeah, you can't see it at first, but when she transforms into S-Class, you can see the tiger design on Rohana really clearly on the petal collar and her petal dress, the tiger stripes.
Oh, the stripes. Okay, I was about to ask, is it flat out there's a tiger behind her? It'd be neat developer fun fact. So it makes me wonder, there's so much love and thought that was put into Rohana's design. What is the coolest part of it? Because I personally just really like the way she poses when she wins, because I've never seen it for myself, but other people who beat me who play Rohana have. I like the way that she has that regal kind of I won pose. I think that's super cool. That's my favorite thing. But to you, what is the coolest part of her design that all of our friends should check out the most?
Well, I mean, I also haven't seen that pose, very sadly. Yeah, but I guess for me, the coolest part about Rohana is her corrupted arm. So coming back to the idea of Sang Kelembai, we wanted to show the monstrous personality of Rohana. And I think it's really cool that we were able to have the corrupted arm and showing in a way that Rohana represents Mother Nature, and that this is her way of fighting back against those who mess with her.
Yeah, that's right. Mother Nature said PvP me in the pit. So one of the other things I think that's really cool about Rohana is that the name Rohana in itself is pretty common. I think I can say here in Malaysia. It's a fairly common girl's name, but I know for a fact that our Rohana has a bit of lore, a bit of cross-cultural something going on with the name. So what is the story behind Rohana's name?
Yeah, that's actually quite interesting. As you guys might know, that we have one of our colleagues actually is named Rohana. She's actually appeared in one of our previous videos, specifically the Skorak podcast, I believe. Tarabak podcast, I think, yeah. So what's funny is that when we first created this character, we knew that we wanted it to represent Malaysia, but also we knew that we wanted the character to to be from nature, to be on the side of nature instead of all the monsters out there. Yeah. So going back to the inspiration from Malaysia or representing Malaysia part, we felt that we wanted something that sounded Malaysian as well in name. So what's interesting is that the name Rohana, the raw word in Malay actually means spirit, and Hana means flower in Japanese. So we felt that that's kind of a very fitting name, merging the Malay representation, Malaysia representation, and the the influence of Japanese kaiju, hence the Japanese word, and merging the both of them together, and that became Rohana. So we felt that that's very fitting for the character and for the monster itself, for the design. You look at it, so we just decided to go with that name. And for good measures, we just added in another N to kind of differentiate the spelling a little bit, so that we don't get confused. But even though we still do get confused with the real person.
In the office.
I actually, when I was referring to her or talking to someone else, I actually put in two N's when I was talking about the person instead of one N. But that's just a habit.
I mean, I made that mistake before when I was a couple months into the job. So like all of my spirit flower mains rise up, because now let's ask some questions about what type of players would enjoy playing as Rohana the most. Each character is still a fighter at the end of the day. So what kind of play style would Rohana be best suited for?
Yeah, Rohana actually is suitable for those players who likes to play zoning. She's kind of a zoner because she has a lot of range attack that can help her play this way. For example, she can summon a minion that can help you chase down your enemy, and she can relocate herself to anywhere she wants. Use it to escape any incoming attacks or any troubles. And she can also spawn a club, and you can use it to whack your enemy, and the attack range is cover pretty big, and you can use it as a throwable item as well. So when you play Rohana, you always want to focus on keeping distance, controlling space. This is your main focus, because you don't want to let enemy to approach you, because Rohana is not good at in close combat. Yeah, so one simple way to do it, you can use her block move, which is summon a minion, like I mentioned just now. When the minion chasing down your enemy, actually can stand behind it and use it as a shield to approach your enemy. So this little minion actually looks a bit weak, and in fact you can actually kill it with one hit. But it's a great tool, create space between you and your enemy, and also at the same time you create some space to them. Sometimes you force your enemy to play defensively. And the good thing about Rohana is that she has a longest grab range among all the characters. So when your enemy play defensively, you actually can use grab to punish them. Yeah. So basically, Rohana has all this ranged attack that can help her play zoning. So if you like this kind of play style, yeah, you definitely can give it a try.
So what I really like the most is that she has her own ability to teleport, right? So yeah. Rohana has her own MRT baked in, mobile Rohana teleportation. So I think that's great. I'm still really bad at her. So that being said, in terms of difficulty, when it comes to her moveset, where would you rank her among all the other announced characters? Like, I'm still having a rough time with her, so maybe she's just a little bit harder than my usual main, but...
You're right. I would say she's the hardest character to play for now. Yeah.
For now!
Either Skora or her, yeah. Especially for those beginner player or for those player who likes to play Gorokong, Thundercross, or Gigaman. I give these three characters as an example because they are the most easy character to play. Yeah, and because of our internal team, a lot of them like to play them. So because these three characters has great close-in ability, and they have strong melee attacks. So when you play them, you actually can play aggressively in close combat. But Rohana, when you play Rohana, you can't really play this way because her melee attack are not as strong as this character. So you still need to stay zoning and keep distance away from your enemy. Yeah, so you got to attach to this kind of close-in play style with Gorgon and Thunderfrost. You might find difficulty to play Rohana. Yeah, because their playstyle are completely different. Yeah.
Lucky for me, I'm not attached to any of them because I'm bad at all of them. So I only play Willy. I only play Willy and PP Direct, so the only ones I'm good at. Even a little bit. So, looking at the technical side of Rohana again, were there any difficulties that came with implementing Rohana into the game?
Well, during production, I got asked Taken, like, you sure want to go with this design? So the answer is certainly yes. There was some
Always
difficulty. Yeah. I mean, as Taken mentioned, Rohana, the skill is quite unique. From other characters. For it, it actually some of the skill actually act in a way as it emerge out from the environment itself, and some also act as an entity that has its mind of its own that can chase down the opponent. So for me, during the production, the biggest challenge was to make sure that it looks visually convincing as it blends well with the environment. At the same time, function in the way that it matches its look. At least the functionality matches its look. So I remember one of the examples I can give is one of the skill we ourselves call it a spike, a skill which is grow out from the ground like a thorn, and it can actually grow on top to the building. So I remember I need to work back and forth with Aiken and some of the VFX artists and also some of our concept artists just to figure out a best visual. At the same time, I need to figure out the best technical method to make sure that both of them integrate well together. And at least it can, when players play using that skill, it looks as the skill is blends well with the environment. At the same time, it works as the way we want it to be. Yeah.
So was there additional difficulty trying to get it to blend with the more urban environments in game?
Yeah, actually we go with as you know, most of our level they have like different elevation with buildings. So just now I brought up about the thorns actually can go onto the building itself. We actually added a feature which there are like a root that come up below the thorn itself, so it is as a way to act as it goes onto the building itself. Yeah,
I think what's especially tricky, the fact that we have so many different biomes and locations and arenas kind of makes things even more tricky, especially for abilities or skills like this, where it has to look nice in different environments, in urban areas, in tropical areas, even in the desert, and with the added complexity of the buildings being destructible, the skill needs to go up buildings and also on ground, so that makes things even more challenging. We didn't expect that in the beginning when we were designing this. We thought it was just quite a straightforward ability, just spawn things, that's all. But it turns out it never is that simple. Nothing is that simple in the beginning.
Yeah.
Nothing is that simple. That's game development, baby.
Yeah. Speaking about making them looks convincing, the UX experience part, we also another thing I can draw out about is the Rohana's ultimate skill, which is actually we call it Royal Guard. So basically this skill itself is an AI. And initially, we actually we tried to make things simple, even though we want it to look very awesome and very powerful from this ultimate. But initially, we actually went with the method with just like a simple AI where it just do chase people and attack. But we end up in the end using an actual actual character AI, which similar to if we are playing a single player playing with a CPU, that kind of AI. Yeah, the reason we go with this is because we just really want to make the Royal Guard itself looks very really a monster itself. Something looks very, very threatening, not just something looks like stupid. yeah.
Well, I mean, I can add on to that is that because our environment or our arenas have different layouts and different features. So with just a simple AI, the monster or the royal guard doesn't look as smart. He will just go into places where he's not supposed to. He doesn't have a very sophisticated pathfinding system. So in the end, we had to move his AI over to the actual AI that we use for the other monsters. So that's also another interesting thing about production of something like that. We thought it would be a simple thing, and he'll just go straight towards the nearest enemy and just hit him. But because of the environment, there's a lot of things we need to consider.
Yep.
I mean, I think that's really cool that you actually thought to put in the regular CPU AI instead of a dumbed down one. It makes the fights all the more intense. It's almost like you're playing against two characters once the Royal Guard comes out, Terrifying.
And a little bit unpredictable as well.
Yeah.
AI, you never really know. I mean, you do know behind the scenes how it determines which character or which enemy to attack. But in actual gameplay, it's kind of unpredictable, like which enemy you will actually go for. But that kind of adds in a little bit of a flavor, when you're playing with 4 players.
I love flavor. That's great. So let's take a step back from Rohana for a bit, and let's go back to the developer updates. When can we expect GigaBash to be released?
Our current release window is early 2022 on PC and PS4.
On PC and PS4. Interesting, because earlier you said that we were looking at developing for other platforms. So our friends on Twitter and Discord are wondering, are we planning to port to any other platforms such as maybe the Switch or the Xbox, PS5?
Yes.
Yes. There you have it.
There are plans, yes.
I think I can chip in a little bit on this. Yeah, so I think our goal is to definitely, let all the gamers in different platforms, enjoy GigaBash. And our current thought is that, we wanted to put in the same amount of attention and love for every different platform. So as a small team, we are currently focusing on just PC and PS4. Once that is solidified, we'll definitely move on to Switch and Xbox. So again, thank you so much for everyone's patience on this. Yeah.
I think that's really exciting because, we're going to have so many people enjoying GigaBash across different consoles. And, it's going to be a super fun experience for everybody. I, for one, am super looking forward to it. 2022, come on. Yeah. And I think that about wraps it up. So before we go, just a reminder that you should be joining our Discord. But why? Because we're going to be having the upcoming alpha playtest, and more details are going to be announced on our Discord. So be sure to sign up. Check us out at discord.gg/gigabash. I'll say it again. discord.gg/gigabash. You can also wishlist GigaBash on Steam and the Epic Games Store so that you can play it on your game store of choice. And stay tuned. We have many more updates. We have more characters to be announced. There's more conspiracies afoot. Hey, super exciting. Marketing, put that there. Okay. So I think that about sums it up. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming to the discussion, the podcast, and giving an opportunity for us to talk to our friends on social media and Discord, giving them the latest update on Rohana and the rest of GigaBash itself. And to everybody out there, stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, but also remember to have fun when you can. Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.